The South African Rainbow Alliance has reiterated the importance of women's voices as we head into the elections. SARA President Colleen Makhubele has called on women in Africa to start believing in their capacity to take up leadership positions and also support women-led political parties. With just over 2 weeks before the elections, Makhubele says she found campaigning for her party as a woman to be quite taxing. She joins me now in studio for this and other issues. Colleen, thanks for your time. Happy to speak to you.
Thank you, Hugo, and my greetings to the viewers and listeners.
How far are we as a country from addressing you or any other woman as Madam President?
Look, I think we are still a little bit far. And I'm saying this because to get closer to that goal, there are certain factors that must be in place that enables a woman-led party, to compete efficiently. Number one is things like this media coverage that comes to give you a broader platform to send your message, for people to know that this is what the party is doing and what it stands for. I was watching earlier all the manifestos and the rallies that are being broadcast everywhere, men-led parties. We hardly get that opportunity as women-led parties. We have to fight for it. There are debates that are happening all the time, and we keep writing to the editors like Daily Maverick last week to say, why are you not inviting women-led parties? You are told the stage is full, and it's things like that that you ask yourself, what is going on in this country? Second, is funding. Without proper funding for a party, you are not going very far. We were blessed that we could get funders here and there, but we're still struggling. A lot of even the women independent candidates, the one thing they're crying about, nobody's supporting them. The funders of this country have not earned confidence in women leadership the way they should. Many of the men that came even from corporate never heard of as a political party, political office. Compared to myself, who's been in political office in the city of Joburg, proven, tried, tested there as a leader. And they walk into, fresh from the box into this political space. They come in with 15 million rand, a bag of 100 million. Some of them did not even make it to the ballot paper. And here we are, offering much more, whether it's merit, whether it's character, whether it's our manifesto, whether it's our ability to sit debate on issues, and we are not given that same platform that the men are given in terms of those two fundamental things.
So how effective have policies like ANC's 50-50 gender balance and female representation as a policy impacted or encouraged more women to get into politics or get into positions of leadership?
Hugo, I mean, some of those things that they talk about, they're not even worth the paper that they are written on. If indeed this policy was important, you look at the top 10 of the ANC candidates now, what they submitted to the IEC, only 2 women. DA, 1 woman, top 10. These are big parties. Action SA, go and count how many women they have in there. So you can talk about a policy of 50-50, but until, like SARA, you make sure 60-70% of the list of candidates, the top 10, is women. Whether unemployed graduates, experienced women, a generational mix as well, but they're there. We walk our talk. But one thing that I actually want to raise to women, you look at the electorate, the voter base is largely women. They've registered in numbers yet again to go and vote. But they have a tendency to go and support men. Women go there as supporters, not as people that are ready to take up the leadership baton and go and implement policies and go and lead and go and give direction to the country.
Why?
I'll give you an example of in our own party. I've said this. We had 3 committees that we want to appoint chairpersons to lead those committees. All the women, really capable women, they nominate men. We had to take it back and ask why. No, I'm not qualified, I'm new in politics, I feel I have a lot to learn. It's not true. You compare them, now you put, this is your CV, this is the men's CV, this is your experience, this is the person that you're nominating. Some don't even have the proper qualification. But the men have this aggressive confidence that women must learn to adopt in their character. And until you get to a point where you understand, I will not know everything, but what I know is enough to get me through the door. I'll learn on the job. When I went to be the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, I had never held a political office, but I stepped into it with the confidence of my experience in corporate, in business, my qualifications, and what I know myself as a character. I'm able to do this, I learn on the job. There are people that I can pick on and mentor me and work with me. But women don't have that, and I don't know when they think they're going to reach a point, they tick all the greens to allow them. But one of the key things that I want us to correct this, the patriarchal society that we find ourselves, we have to start to break these stereotypes. You look at even the posters that you see where women are. There's a poster of a woman, of a man president who's got a woman premier. And the woman premier is behind him, peeping somewhere there. The president is standing in front, and the woman... You're further enforcing that women are a support act. They must be behind a successful man. You look at how men do it. I'll give an example of the PA poster. Gating is standing here. Ken is here, side by side, partners, mutual respect. They want to tackle this thing together. Why do women allow themselves to be at the back there as if you're a support actor, you're not important? So those are the psychology that needs to be changed.
Colleen,
yeah.
Right? So these are your peers, right? They're your friends, they're your sisters, your aunts, mothers, etc. Why is it like that? Because you literally, the world is your oyster, if you will. You have the numbers, right? So let's not get that wrong. So how do you fix that? How do you correct that mindset? Because you almost have to take it by force. And that force is at the ballot, where you as women can rally and say, okay, you know what, we are not endorsing these candidates, or we're going to vote for the women.
You see, you must take it by force, but there are consequences when you also take it by force as a woman, and many women are not willing to bite that bullet. Even for myself, to take it by force, to raise my hand, there were consequences. I was fired for wanting to lead SARA. Many women, I make an example, Dr. Palatsa, where is she today? She wanted to take it by force with Steenhuisen. We don't know where her career, political career is today. Lindy Wesusulu, she's nowhere to be found today. Nkosazana Zuma, she's retiring in dignity and never having stepped in. She could have led us. I can count many women, Vice Chancellor of UNISA, Vice Chancellor of UCT, corporate women that we may not even know of. Mam Riali Dwaba, who wanted to take it by force at SAFA. Where is she today? So the society has not made it easy for women to say, I can take it by force and survive. I'm suffering the consequences. I have to fend for myself. I have to start a party, make sure I get funding, feed my children while running the party with very little, you see. So it's not everybody who's got the grace to carry that. And women are afraid. When I raise my hand, I raise my voice, I'd rather just take what I have, feed my family. But the struggle for women, the psychology, what I'm appealing to, it has to be beyond you and your stomach and your plate. We're fighting a bigger cause for the girls that are coming after us. You look at the policies that have not even been implemented to cater for women. This 50-50% that you spoke about with the ANC policy. On my campaign trail, I was shocked to understand that on that unemployment statistics that we have, over 50%, 56% of the unemployment stat is women, unemployed women. You go to every public toilet in this country, you find a condom, you don't find sanitary pads. But women are unemployed. They're crying for sanitary pads every month. They don't even have 30 rands to go and buy pads for a menstrual cycle that happens naturally. But women are there in parliament. What are they doing? Because a man is going to push for what he wants. Sex is a choice. Men want it. Women, we don't have a choice. We want sanitary pads. This glass ceiling that I just spoke about now, where women are fired and discredited or discriminated against once they raise their hands, who's investigating that? Who's investigating the case of Colleen Makhubele and Cope to understand what really happened? Of SAFA, Mam Riali Dwaba, she's persona non grata, her accounts are being frozen. Who is taking up the issue of the Vice Chancellor of Cape Town to understand what was the injustice, how do we correct it? No one. Teenagers, now they want to implement policies to say kids from the age of 12, teenage girls, can have abortion without parental consent. I know as a woman what that does to the body of a young child to have an abortion. For you as a man, it's easy because you want to cover up what you have done with the woman. But you're destroying this child's life for life. That's why we're standing against the Bella Bill. Who's standing against the rights of women? Caregivers in this country. Caregivers. Women who are capable to go to work, who have the ability, etc., but they can't because they're looking after maybe a disabled child, a parent who's incapacitated or a spouse who's incapacitated. And anywhere in the world, they've got a caregiver's allowance. We've got 3 million women in this country who have no income. They are caregivers doing the job of government. But you're telling me about 50% of the policy. It's not being implemented.
So have women failed to rally the troops? Have they failed to rally themselves?
They have failed to rally themselves because they went into parliament to support men instead of going in there to stand for women and push women leadership. If in this country, we get a black president every time because the majority of the voters are black. We know this is a black country in its majority. Stan Hensen is dreaming about all of these things that he's talking about. But women are even in the majority in the numbers. That should tell you why we don't have a woman president. We should be having a black woman president easily without a coalition. If women understood their right, their voice, their power, and if women that we have sent before to parliament did their job, they didn't do anything. They went there to be supporting actors. We are tired of that.
So let's take a look at countries like Rwanda, which is a high percentage of female parliamentarians. What is it that they've done right?
Look, it's a case study that I'm also looking into to say, you know, Rwanda has just overtaken South Africa in a number of things. But I really do believe that the women of Rwanda have been so progressive in rallying themselves together, understanding their power. They still have a lot to do in getting a president who's women. But in terms of parliamentary representation is great. Where I'm failing, and I'm still doing my research, is are the policies that are implemented in Rwanda really reflecting the number of women in parliament? Or are they also just voting and being led? Because it's one thing to have 75 women out of 100, but all of them are rallying behind a man because this is the man who's feeding them. And that's where we need to break this thing.
Now, the one thing that you spoke of is when the candidate list was coming before you, the majority of the individuals were men, and women were supporting those men. What are the conversations that you've had with your team to correct this, firstly? And secondly, if the perception or if the trend is that voters, both men and women, will vote for men, does it not compromise how you will perform in the elections?
Not necessarily, but first, the conversation that we've had, and this, Hugo, are some of the realities that I've had to be naked before my women leaders. It's Saturday today. I'm here with you. I'm going to be going out to campaign until very late. My children have a soccer match. I can't be with them even during the week because evenings, those are the times where we have meetings, we have to go out. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. So it takes a lot of time. It does not fare well, this patriarchal society, for many women, and most are single women even, you know, that have to look after their children. So I had to understand from that point of, we don't know if we're going to give our all because I must go and fetch my children from school, I must do this. And we've made SARA to be so accommodative to women. So if you have to attend your child's soccer match, it's okay, we'll pause the meeting, we'll start when you come back. We are not going to be like any other party where we are punitive to say your child is sick, you must go and pick up your child at school. Therefore, it becomes a red flag on you, lack of commitment. We can't rely on this one. No. That's why when you have a woman at the helm, we're able to work around the issues. If we're going to have a meeting, if 7 to 9 is the time where you have to do homework with your children, put them to bed, etc., we'll pause. We'll have the meeting after 9 o'clock. So those are small things, but we've had to adjust. And let me tell you what we've managed to accomplish. Our PEC, Provincial Chair of Gauteng, is a woman. Provincial Chair of Limpopo, of Free State, is a woman. Provincial Chair of Northwest is a woman. Provincial Chair of KZN it's going to be a woman. We'll be appointing her. Provincial chair of Eastern Cape is a woman, and we've got men on other. And women have now taken up leadership because now they understand I don't have to fight and be strained for balance and feel bad and feel guilty. No, we are multifaceted. That's why we can multitask. I run my household, I run my children, I run the party, and I've got other activities and commitments beyond my small family unit. And those must run in parallel. And they're productive because that psychological guilt is down.
Well, I appreciate your time, Colleen, and wish you all the best in the elections.
Thank you, Hugo. Thank you so much. And please support the women.